You're listening to the Hockey Podcast Network. New shows every day. Find us at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com or wherever you get your podcasts from.
You know, enough is enough. Teams pushing us around, and we got to stand up for ourselves.
Hey everybody, welcome to Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas for your Detroit Red Wings finally have a home. Tonight is Pride Night at Little Caesars Arena. It's going to be the Columbus Blue Jackets coming to take on the Detroit Red Wings at 7:30. This is going to be for Moritz Seider, I think, a big game for him to show that everything he said in the preseason or the pre-regular season press conferences is going to be coming to fruition, and I trust that, and I think that's going to be the thing that's most exciting to take a look at. But let's dive a little bit deeper before we get into that, into what's going on here with the matchup. We have the 2-0 Columbus Blue Jackets against the 1-0-1 Detroit Red Wings. Of course, 2 straight games for the Red Wings. I think the offense does definitely look improved, but we've seen a lot of shots faced by our goaltending tandem so far. Nedeljkovic, who went down in game 1 to the Tampa Bay Lightning, will continue to ride the pine, as Thomas Greiss was the first goalie off the ice in practice today, which of course signals to us that Greiss is getting his second start in a row. And we'll point out here, as brought up by Anzar Khan on Twitter, Greiss 7-0-3 since April 4th, of course, earlier this year, with a 1.46 goals against average and .953 save percentage. Absolutely wild. We brought up in our last recording how Greiss also had the almost 3 goals saved above expected, which is just an unbelievable performance. To say that now we have, through the analytics community, an opportunity to figure out or try to estimate how many goals would be given up on a normal, regular, average, everyday goaltending performance based on the shots that are actually being faced. And to say that Greiss gives up 1 and he could have given up a few more is fantastic.
Laine weaves it through, gets through the defense, walks in, and he scores!
So I'm sure none of you wanted to see that goal again, but it's huge for me, and I think this is one of the keys of the game, is Moritz Seider in his play on not just the Columbus Blue Jackets, but Patrick Laine more specifically. As this was labeled on Twitter, Patrick Laine welcoming Moritz Seider to the NHL. It's also brought up by Moritz Seider in the regular season press conferences, and something that he's been working on, and he recognized it as a key mistake in his own game and something he'd like to correct. So tonight, for me, I think that is the most exciting thing. I know we want to see goals by Lucas Raymond. We do want to see Moritz Seider put some up, but this is going to be, for me, that opportunity where Moritz Seider is going to show how capable he is of turning things around quickly, learning on the fly. And you know what? I think we'll see how holding a grudge for Moritz Seider actually means learning how to play the best defense he can play. So far through 2 games, our top performers from an expected goals for percentage, not including Dylan Larkin, who's only got the 1 game, is Gustav Lindstrom and Lucas Raymond. I think that is huge news for Lucas Raymond, who, by all accounts, we'd like to see more shots on net, but at least from the perspective that this isn't a guy who's holding his first line back in any way, shape, or form. This is a tremendous nod that he can keep up, and that this is a guy who is meant to develop in the NHL. I will continue to argue that until the cows come home. But more importantly, as we talk about the excitement behind Moritz Seider, we can still talk about the excitement behind who I'm a huge fan of so far, is Gustav Lindstrom. Watch those penalty kill performances and watch him continue to step up. I think he is quietly becoming the top performing defender. While his assignments aren't as difficult, he still has those opportunities against Kucherov. And watch him on the penalty kill against Kucherov back in game 1. I thought he did a tremendous job of choosing when to be aggressive. And you can see that his decisions are starting to pay off, and especially with him getting the puck out of the net and preventing those scoring chances, with the team leading lowest expected goals against, as well as in the last game, the team leading expected goals against per 60. Of course, taking out of the account how often he's on the ice and just comparing however many minutes you get, comparing everybody on the same grade, number one in the penalty kill. So arguably one of our most consistent performers from the defensive side of the ice, and something I think everybody should be paying attention to. Analytics for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Top heavy here for Patrick Laine, as previously mentioned. And it does fall off. The Blue Jackets so far have given up more opportunities, despite being 2-0, than they've actually put on net for their up against their opponents here. Goaltending has been fantastic for Columbus and can't be ignored. Speaking of goaltending, it's Elvis Merzlikins who is leading the way for the Columbus Blue Jackets. A hell of a start. Now, we did talk about Thomas Greiss and his fantastic performance in the one game. Merzlikins, who has the 2 victories here for Columbus, has a 1.62 goals saved above expected, which, again, I think is more evidence to what a fantastic performance Thomas Greiss had, because Merzlikins, not to bring this up in any way to take anything away from Elvis, but again, such a fantastic moment for Greiss to see that Merzlikins can play 2 games, come away with 3 goals against in 2 games, and still only have the goals save above expected be at that 1.62. So that being said, Elvis does have a 94 save percentage. So this is at least to lend to the idea that while Columbus isn't winning the chance game, they still aren't giving too much up. So they aren't going for too much is what's going on with Columbus's strategy so far. Very similar to what the Red Wings looked like a year ago. So they are hoping to win these games in the third period by playing a tighter defensive game and limiting chances from both sides, but ultimately giving Elvis the opportunity to win these games, as he's done so far with the 94% save percentage. And all this being said, what can't be forgotten, Columbus has faced 2 opponents that, by all accounts, I would say shouldn't have too high of expectations. And I guess I mean that, one, of course, everybody agrees with the Coyotes, but number 2, I feel like I'm more in the minority here, but the Seattle Kraken, which I felt would play the similar game to expansion teams before the Vegas Knights, and so far haven't looked too hot. But of course, that they would be included in the Columbus Blue Jackets victories. And if you take a look at this, arguably a road game in Detroit against a fired up Red Wings team that does come at you hot in the first and second period, especially the second period, you could arguably say this will be the toughest contest for Columbus so far this season. Of course, even with Seattle, that being up for an argument of which team would be more talented, they were in Columbus. So I'm going to give the nod to this game being in Detroit and against, as we mentioned before, a pretty strong goaltender in Thomas Greiss. Let's see how this all rolls out for Columbus. Mentioned by Jeff Blashill earlier today, we are going to see the return of Dylan Larkin, who served his suspension. I think there was some cause for concern if the injury sustained in the hit back in game 1 was going to be severe enough to keep him out. Stealing here from at Detroit Red Wings hockey, of course, Larkin being a player to watch tonight. I absolutely think this is a guy who's stepping it up from a leadership perspective. He's going to be stepping it up with his play on the ice. So watch for Dylan tonight, who, despite the fact that he's only played the one game, is technically our leader in expected goals for percentage. I think this is something for Dylan that playing with Lucas Raymond is making a huge difference. I think it's bringing an extra pep to his step, but absolutely as a leader, he's leading by his actions. And I think the best way for him to continue to lead is going to be putting those goals on the net. And he plays well against Columbus. So watch for that to continue. And if anything, I just want to see this guy skating on the ice when he's performing at a level that we saw looked pretty good in the preseason. And I think carried its way into that first period against Tampa Bay. And I think, if anything, those frustrations with him getting hit from behind might have just been, I feel as good as I've ever felt. I don't want that taken away from me. So watch for Dylan to have a fantastic night tonight. And by all accounts, Greiss being in, I think the defense is going to continue to take a couple steps forward. I think that third period is going to look better than it's looked the last couple of games, especially considering who we're playing against today. I think Vancouver is one who will take chances on the offensive side, and they certainly took the right chances. And Tampa Bay, it's just tough to match up against no matter what team is going up against Tampa Bay. For Columbus, I think we have a much better shot, and with this one, I'm going to be going with a 3-2 victory for the Red Wings. I think this is an opportunity again for Detroit to just continue to solidify a few things that we've seen them learn as we're moving forward. I think Greiss has been getting, I guess, the chemistry with his defense, getting things in line, in order. And I think it just creates more confidence for the offense to plunge straight ahead. And with Dylan Larkin being back in the lineup and this lineup being a little bit stronger because of that, I think they'll find a new goal today from a new goal scorer in Lucas Raymond. But again, keep an eye on Moritz Seider, who probably takes that Columbus Blue Jacket game in the preseason to heart, holds a grudge, and I assume a near perfect game because of how this kid operates. So we'll get the evidence tonight. I can guarantee you that, and we'll have defined for us is Moritz Seider learning from those mistakes. Will that hold him back, or do we just kind of pull back on the reins a little bit? Is he just a kid getting things in order? So enjoy the game tonight, everybody, and go Wings.